Imagine taking a rock-armored levee in the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta and transforming it into lush habitat for fish and wildlife. On the Delta's Twitchell Island, the California Departments of Water Resources and Fish and Game have accomplished just that. Native trees, shrubs, and grasses have taken root in what has become a freshwater marsh, nourished by the tides. And during winter storms, when high tides assault this delta levee, the added flood protection this riparian forest provides will help keep this vulnerable delta island intact. Every winter, Twitchell Island levees take a beating, especially the 4-mile stretch of levee that borders the San Joaquin River. Traditionally, heavy pieces of quarry rock called riprap armor the water side of Twitchell, as well as other delta levees. More recently, to significantly increase levee strength, DWR engineers have placed material on the land side of Twitchell Island and web-tracked. Although traditional practices protect delta levees, they provide reduced wildlife habitat for the more than 750 plants and animals that need the delta to survive.
Today's mission is to significantly enhance the delta's natural environment and improve its levees, and these two goals are not mutually exclusive. Therefore, we simply must find ways to increase fish populations while protecting the delta's agriculture, infrastructure, and the state's water supply.
Recognizing an urgent need, the California State Legislature mandated that funds be dedicated to enhancing wildlife habitat while increasing flood protection in the delta. The legislation was introduced in 1995 by Assemblyman Thomas Hannigan. Assembly Bill 360 was passed in 1996.
This legislation is important because it provides the necessary funds to create habitat in the delta for native species who live there and depend on it for food and shelter. And just as important, the habitat that is being created will significantly improve flood protection for delta levees and delta water quality. This has a substantial benefit for the entire state, since much of the state's water supply flows through the delta.
Taking on the challenge mandated by the legislature, the California Departments of Water Resources and Fish and Game developed a unique and innovative approach for Twitchell Island. As mandated, the project's design would have dual benefits: creating wildlife habitat and increasing flood protection.
This is a good example of the collaborative process that's been established as part of the Cal-Fed Bay Delta program. It not only protects the health of the estuary, but also increases the stability of the delta levees, which in turn protects both the quality and quantity of the state's water supplies.
To begin the project's design, engineers designated a vulnerable 3,000-foot section of the levee along the San Joaquin River. This section of the levee was widened by over 100 feet to provide additional flood protection in what is described as a setback levee. From this widened area would be carved the Habitat Restoration Project. Within 60 feet from the water side of the original levee, the project's features would be excavated and contoured to specific height, depth, and width. The finished grading for the project would include the setback levee, the bench, a protected shallow channel, and a berm. "12 water entrance points would be angled to maintain circulation and flow during the high tides of the San Joaquin River. And native trees and vegetation would be planted in order to create what the designers call shaded riverine aquatic habitat.
This kind of habitat provides shade and moderates temperatures for fish and other aquatic life. The roots, stems, and branches extending into the water create feeding areas and cover for fish. The vegetation also provides nesting and feeding areas for birds and mammals.
Putting the plan into action, excavation and shaping was aided by the use of laser levels. This guided the accuracy of the construction crew as they dug the channel, carved the berm, and shaped the setback levee to exact project specifications. The excavated material was put to good use. It was placed at the base of Twitchell's levee to create a sturdy access road around the island. Riprap was mixed with the levee's rich soil on the waterside slopes. This enables vegetation to grow and flourish while maintaining levee stability. Large planting cylinders called sonotubes were installed to accommodate and promote rapid root growth. Grass mat fabric was placed and fastened on levee surfaces to control erosion while vegetation is maturing. With the project's features completed, it was time to plant vegetation. Native trees, shrubs, and grasses were planted and seeded as specified in the plans. On both the waterside and landside slopes of the setback levee, only low-growing grasses are being cultivated to aid flood-controlled inspection. Sedge and creeping wild rye were planted on the bench. These plants were chosen because of their matted root systems and ability to quickly spread to protect the bench from erosion. Also on the bench, trees were planted in the sonotubes. The trees include Oregon ash, box elder, and black willow. As the trees mature, their foliage will spread over the open channel, creating shaded riverine aquatic habitat. In the open channel, tules and bulrushes were planted to provide a home for small fish and other organisms. Across the open channel from the setback levee, low-growing trees and shrubs were planted on the slope, leading to the water's edge. These include alder, yellow willow, dogwood, and button willow. On the outer berm along the river, larger trees were planted, such as cottonwood, willow, and oak. These trees and their roots will help protect the levee from inevitable testing by wave wash. Other foliage, such as rose, blackberry, wild grape, elderberry, and creeping wild rye were also planted here to help prevent erosion. 6 of the 12 water entry points in the berm were fully opened after erosion-preventing vegetation took root. Huge stumps with their roots attached were installed at 2 of the openings. The stumps help protect the openings and provide additional fish habitat.
The success of this project demonstrates that flood control and habitat enhancement can go hand in hand. We're creating valuable fish and wildlife habitat and restoring the natural beauty of the Delta.
And we're working with scientists to advance the state of knowledge for more significant projects that are already being planned.
This is just one of many projects being planned by the Bay Delta Authority agencies in the Delta that not only protect the Delta as farmland, but protect important habitat and protect the quality of water supplies for more than 20 million Californians that depend on the Delta for all or part of their drinking water.